So, for somebody who's not familiar with Sara Jane Moore,
Hmm.
and since we're writing about Suburban Fury,
Hmm.
um, I guess I would. Can you explain to them a little bit about her background, her story, and what she did?
I'll be very succinct. Sarah Jane Moore was the 45-year-old mother and doctor's wife who, in 1975, September 22nd, stood outside the St. Francis Hotel in San Francisco and fired a shot at President Ford. She missed his head by 6 inches. And we found out 25 years later because the FBI told me they didn't want the country to know how close we came to another assassination, that the sight was off of the gun by 6 inches. And basically, she had him between the eyes. And Richard Vitamonte, the FBI agent, said, "My blood ran cold. We realized she almost killed the president of the United States, and we had another assassination." So that's the version of who she is and what she did and why globally, people knew about her.
Right.
There was no woman who ever tried to kill the president of the United States.
So, what about Squeaky? Squeaky from?
Squeaky waved a gun around. What they press didn't cover, I did, is that she wanted to get attention for Charlie Manson. There was no bullet in the chamber of her gun. However, if they see a gun in the president, they're not going to ask questions. So they tackled her. Yeah.
So, how did you come to write the book?
I was working in Los Angeles for a newspaper. She was up in San Francisco. I didn't cover her, but she was being evaluated by the psychiatrist in Southern California, and she got the newspaper. She saw my article about Sybil Brand Jail, which is the largest women's jail in the country. There was a class action suit against Sybil Brand, and she read this story. Sarah Jane never met a reporter she didn't love. And she wrote to me, care of the paper, and said, "I know I'm going to be incarcerated in Southern California. I'd like to meet you." And I thought, I've never met an assassin before. I wonder what she's like. I went to meet her. Not what you expect. She was charming. She was gracious. Nobody saw her in the crowd. She was your neighbor. She was the garden lady. She was your aunt. And she blew out the Secret Service profile of a potential assassin, which was a man, 20 to 30 years old, foreign born, delusions of grandeur. They weren't looking for Sara Jane Moore. Now, you and I are potential assassins in the crowd.
Right.
Completely changed their profile.
Uh, no, has a woman hasn't attempted an assassination at that level since, I'm sure, right?
No,
Yeah.
no, no.
Yeah. So would you consider yourself a leading authority on Sarah Jane Moore?
Yeah, I guess so. It's a dubious achievement. um, I wrote her book because she wanted me to write her book, but I told her at the time, I don't write books. They're too hard. They take too long. Write your own book. No, it's time for you to write my book. No, Sally, her nickname. I don't write books. I don't want to write your book. Write your own book. Nag, nag, nag. I started doing some research on her, and everything that I found was wrong.
Oh,
And everything I realized is that she lied for 25 years. Now, if you tell me the sky is brown, I don't care. The sky's brown. Fine. I never challenged anything she said. Why? I wasn't interviewing her. I wasn't taking notes. She was an acquaintance. She was fascinating. She had no impact on my life. Like I said, I never took notes on her. I had letters. I kept the letters.
mm-hmm.
But all of a sudden the red flags were coming up. And then because I contacted someone she didn't want me to contact because I did my secondary research. Secondary research is everything that's been written about something. And you take notes and you write down the names and yada yada. And I wrote to Father Bill O'Donnell, who is a Catholic priest in Berkeley at St. Joseph of the Worker Church. He marched with her in Cesar
Mm.
Chavez grape strike, and he sat with her at her hearing. Nobody else was there. Nobody, Sara Jane was not a nice person. And he wrote to her and said, Geri Spieler's doing your book. I think that's fantastic. I'm very glad you're finally doing this. And she called me furious. How dare you contact someone? I will tell you what to say. I will tell you who you can talk to.
Mm.
And I said, Sally, that's not how it works. If you want me to write your book, you've got to cooperate with me and I need to talk to people. No, I said, then, it's not going to work. And she said, I am no longer at home to you. Bang, slammed the phone down. Last time we ever talked. And I'm thinking, I'm curious now because I'm realizing all this stuff that I never realized before. And I said to my husband, I don't know if I can write the book without her cooperation. My husband says, if anyone can, Geri, you can. I
Yeah.
married a
Well,
great
you
guy.
did.
And
Yes.
I did.
Yeah.
And I interviewed President Ford. I got the FBI to open a file that had been closed for 25 years. And I got the truth of what really happened that was never revealed before.
Mm. Yeah. So your background as a journalist surely helped you with those skills and getting the information.
It
Yeah.
did. And
Yeah.
persistence.
Yeah.
You don't stop, you
Yeah.
keep going.
Yeah. And so, Housewife Assassin, the woman who tried to kill President Ford, is the title of your book.
It's the second iteration of the book.
Right.
The first
Taking
book was
aim.
published by Macmillan. It was called Taking Aim at the President.
Yes.
And then when that contract fell out, my agent resold it
Okay.
to a company that really wanted it, Diversion Books, and they're fabulous as well. They did an audiobook and yeah. So the book's been published twice.
Okay. I guess they didn't like that the title anymore. It was a little,
I didn't like it either.
yeah. Yeah.
But that's Macmillan.
Right. Right. When we're watching this video, we're going to be at a club in Seattle, and there's five songwriters who wrote about Suburban Fury, which is based on the Sara Jane Moore story, and Robinson DeVore, who's I heard is going to be there that night.
Great. Fantastic.
Um, he contacted you, right? For
Yes. Robinson contacted me, oh my God, 15 years ago, when it was still Taking Aim, and wanted me to work with him, but I couldn't because I would be giving up all my rights to the book, and I couldn't do that. And but he read the book and we did talk and he did a great job with Suburban Fury.
yeah.
We've been in touch, no hard feelings, but I had to protect my interest with the book, which he understood.
Hmm.
So yeah, I went to see Suburban Fury in San Francisco. It was fabulous. He did a great job.
Really great film. As a video person, I caught myself a couple of times like saying, "Wow, this is really beautiful." The film is so riveting in the story that I don't
Yes.
know if so many people noticed, but I was ta so taken by, I mean, all of that, and so yeah, it was a pleasure to get to screen that film.
I mean, the story, of course, is the story, but
Yeah,
his ability to take it to the next level.
yeah, yeah.
So when you see Robinson, say hi
I
for
will
me.
for sure. Um, so you also have a couple other books too, right?
I have two other historical fiction. The first one is based on my grandmother's story, Regina of Warsaw, Love, Loss, and Liberation. And my grandmother had an amazing life, as did her children, which was my mother and her sisters, who were raised in a Jewish orphanage in Los Angeles. When I tell people that, they go, "Oh," and I'm going, "No, no, 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 no. It was wonderful." So Grandma Regina left Poland at the turn of the century. Unfortunately, her family died because they didn't leave in Bergen-Belsen concentration camp and in the ghetto, because they didn't. They said it's fine, it's fine, it's going to be fine, and obviously it wasn't fine.
Right,
Had Regina not left, you and I wouldn't be having this conversation.
right, right.
So I did his. I wasn't couldn't be a memoir because I wasn't there. It was my grandmother. And the second book is called Revenge of the Sisters, A Tale of Retribution, because they lived in an orphanage and they were Jewish kids and they went to public school. A lot of people weren't very nice to them and did bad things to them.
Mm.
Not violent things, but stole a scholarship, got in the way of one of the girls going to UCLA Young Journalist Program, and the other one was a boy who didn't beat up the my mother actually, but got in the way of her doing what she wanted to do.
So when that film comes out, I will have Real Songs write a song about that too. That sounds very interesting. Is there anything else that you want to share with maybe the songwriters or just the Real Songs audience?
I think that doing a song along with her story and what was going on is really great. I mean, that's not a very good word, but it's really takes her story to another level,
Yeah, that's really good to hear.
and who she was and how her impact on the world, because she was a woman, because she claimed so close to killing him. And that's what a lot of people don't know. Richard Vitamonte, the FBI case agent, said we didn't want the country to know how close we came to an assassination. So we basically just said she shot wild and she was a loner, and that was it. They purposely buried what really happened until I was writing the book.
Mm.
And Richard Vitamonte's quote is, "It's time to set the record straight."
Right.
And that they, changed so much of the secrets. So she had a big impact on our history. And I think that's a story that needs to be told, because what else is out there? You know, but Squeaky and Sarah Jane doing what they did,
Yeah,
it has an impact. And the question is, with what's going on in the country today, are we building new assassins?
right. Yeah.
Um, and people are angry with good reason.
Yes, indeed.
With good reason. I want to make sure that I'm clear on that.
Yeah. Right, right, right.
So I think it's a great tribute in a way to this story, not to her, but to the story.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
came from a lovely family. She did not come from a dysfunctional home. Her father was an engineer with DuPont. Her mother was a concert pianist with the Charleston Symphony Orchestra. Her siblings and her sister were, quote, normal people.
Right.
So I think that's important to know as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I find the whole thing fascinating. There's so many different things about it. Was her son, because you got to, I'm going a little longer here, but you're didn't you interview her son? He was the only one you were allowed to talk to or something?
I talked to one of her sons, Christopher.
Yeah.
That was of the first three kids. I did not talk to Frederick because at the time his foster family said, we are not going to subject him to talk to you about this. And I respected that.
Yes, yes, yes.
But he went on to have a very good life. Married, kids, living in Hawaii. The good news is he was with a wonderful foster family. It was the best thing that could have happened to him.
Hmm.
Being raised by these other people who were wonderful.
Right. Yeah, that's good to hear. It's been great getting to know you a little bit and
Yeah,
finally meeting you through Zoom. And
yeah.
I will spread the word of your book and books.
I think what you're doing is fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.